Hi, I'm James Robertson. I want to talk to you about something that I call precision configuration, which takes your ERP or, for that matter, CRM or other business system, warehouse management system, to a whole new level, particularly ERP. I've got a lot of experience troubleshooting failed implementations, poor configurations, etc. And I've developed this method over many years. So I want to share that with you now. I'm going to take you through a few slides, and I look forward to hearing from you. This is an overview. There's a much more detailed presentation, which is somewhat technical, which goes into the real nuts and bolts of what this is about. And if you are a prospective client and you are interested in learning more from me, I will be delighted to take you through that presentation tailored to your particular situation. What I'm going to say to you is that precision configuration in the way that I specify it is an enabler for high value Thrive ERP outcomes. To put that in context, if you search on Google for percentage of ERP projects that do not deliver what was promised, you're going to find this statistic. This is about 2 weeks ago. Gartner, 55 to 75% of ERP projects either fail or don't meet their intended objectives. It's been sitting around 75% for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. And I believe that's an underestimate. Firstly, because people's expectations are dumbed down because they just don't get it. And probably the salespeople are sort of tempering their claims because it's producing pushback. And secondly, because they just can't get it right. And they can't get it right because they're looking in the wrong place. This is not about software technology. This is about data. This is about the intelligence about your business in the data. The converse of that is what I call sloppy configuration and lack of strategic alignment. And I can help you with both of those. Comprehensively documented the reasons for suboptimal outcomes and developed solutions that deliver high value outcomes. So the ERP dream, would you like to raise the strategic decision support value of your existing ERP data warehouse and BI by a factor of at least 10 without replacing the ERP? Reg Barry said to me after a year after they went live, James, the auditors just left after 6 weeks. Last year, they were here for 6 months. They signed off the balance sheet without qualifications for the first time in 15 years. We have masses of management information. Profitability has improved, and we did it with one less bookkeeper. On that project, I was the strategic project leader. I did the precision configuration of cubic business model, and it was correctly implemented by a client who bought into the vision. I can do this for your organization, and I'd love to discuss how I can help you. So is your ERP like running in mud? Simple reports are time consuming to produce. Data has to be extracted to Excel and manipulate. Different reports do not agree. Expensive consultants should have left long ago. Simple questions take too long to answer. ERP does not deliver what was promised. Are you about to trash your ERP? Maybe you don't need to. Maybe some treatment by the ERP doctor will fix it. I'm not saying it'll be trivial, but I might just be able to fix your existing ERP. And if you're going for a new ERP, you really need to take account of this because it's absolutely lifeblood stuff for ERP. So I'm talking about strategy. I'm talking about strategic alignment. What is strategy? Many years ago, I wrote a paper on the importance of aligning IT and ERP with business strategy and found I couldn't define strategy. Came across the work of Professor Malcolm MacDonald, who says that strategy is doing the right things viewed from the customer's perspective, and tactics is doing things right viewed from the customer perspective. And he says if you do the right things well, your organization will thrive, and that's where my company logo comes from. He says if you do the right things not so well, your company will survive. If it does, you do the wrong things, it'll die. It's just a matter of how quickly. And the better you get at doing the wrong things, the faster your organization will die. So my focus of my business is to help you thrive by doing the right things with your ERP and so forth. And in that, The role of strategic project leader, who's somebody who comes alongside the CEO and the C-suite and advises and guides the project, is absolutely important. Talking about computers versus people, computers collect, collate, summarize, synthesize, and present information. People interpret the results, take decisions, and take actions. Precision configuration is vital to facilitating ease of interpretation, leading to value-adding decisions. An extreme example of bad practice. This is a general ledger chart of accounts out of a SAP R3 installation in a mining company. Sand and stone services, skips and cages. Well, you can't get much more consumable than sand and stone to put in concrete. Services completely unrelated, and scraper rope and scrapers. I mean, it's all over the place. And then skips and cages, which is a big capital asset. But this could be repairs and maintenance, it could be operating costs, it could be the asset. And because of the ambiguous description, you probably find all sorts of stuff in there. It's one of the worst examples I've ever seen. They had an accountant, a chartered accountant, who spent 6 months trying to get a profit and loss statement to balance and couldn't get it right. And what you see on the screen there is why. The CEO said to me, they cannot tell me how much one tunnel is costing. This time next year, there's supposed to be 30 tunnels. What am I supposed to do? Problem with this particular project, I was brought in through the chief operating officer. The chief operating officer became a gatekeeper, declined my recommendation to re-implement because he said the shareholders wouldn't like it. A few months later, the business went into business rescue and the shareholders lost everything. People get into denial. The only sponsor for your ERP should be the chief executive. The biggest single factor giving rise to suboptimal ERP performance is sloppy configuration. I facilitate leading edge precision configuration to exceptionally high standards. My approach to taxonomies is based on engineering, zoology, NATO catalog, military combat planning, rapid decision making, methods of structured software design, strategic planning techniques. Why military combat planning? One of the things that you learn as a commander is that you don't have a lot of time to take decisions. And if you make bad decisions, people get killed and battles get lost. So I'm very focused on giving executives the information they need when they need it to support them to make the best possible decisions. And I've got decades of precision configuration experience and thought leadership, including over 1,000 hours of unremunerated R&D many years ago. So my approach, I believe, is world-class, and to the best of my knowledge, it's not in any textbook. So the process: develop strategic understanding, the essence of the organization with the CEO and the C-suite. Understand the real world. I do an executive walkthrough on the ground. I say to the CEO, please walk me through your business and explain the business to me from your point of view. I want to see the business through the CEO's eyes. And then work with specific responsible executives, CFO for the chart of accounts, COO for the item master, etc. Develop a plain language hierarchy with every possible value, and then highly structured hierarchical codes that mimic the text hierarchy, and then reports and models, and you set the report ranges up that they bracket every possible value so that nothing can get left out, and if something gets added in, it's catered for. So I've got proven proprietary standards and conventions, which when rigorously applied give fantastic results. And I'm not going to spill the beans now. If you want to use my methods, you can see if you can figure it out from this presentation. But I suggest that if you want to really get the benefit of this, let's have a serious commercial discussion, and I'll work with you, and I'll disclose all my methods to you once we have a contract signed, or we're well on the way to a contract at the very least. So benefits. Answers to the questions I've not previously thought to ask: ease of use and quality of information, strategic and operational efficiencies, business intelligence in the data allows sophisticated models, at least a tenfold increase in high-value decision support, more profitable, competitive, leaner, efficient. How You might say to me, how can I get answers to questions I haven't thought to ask? If you've got the data at a very fine, granular level that accurately models the world is your oyster. Click, 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 and there's the answer to your question. You didn't. That's a fundamental requirement, folks. If you are going to get stuck trying to think of all the questions you might want to ask in the future, which is kind of what happens with a lot of implementations, you are wasting your time and wasting a lot of money too. And you have to experience this to really get the value. Applicability to any classification table, item class, chart of accounts, etc. The ETL in your data warehouse, your business intelligence. And you can do this and then subsequently reconfigure your existing ERP as an incremental process rather than replacing. The methods that I'm talking about are universally applicable to any business information system, whether it's a remediation of your existing system or it's the configuration of a new system. You're going to have a bit of bespoke software. You don't have to, but I would likely recommend it. You've got so much intelligence in your data that you can now do bits of bespoke software that enable you to do some really clever things, including integrate different modules that are not designed to integrate or even from different software houses, things you were told that were impossible. And then master files, impose the hierarchy on your master files like the item master using bespoke software. Embed business intelligence in the master files instead of meaningless random lists. Commence design early in the ERP implementation project, which forces deep understanding of the software. And by the way, if you do what I'm recommending, you will likely implement the software differently. And then, by the way, the process or the workflow comes in at the end of the project in the laboratory war games, not at the beginning. And that's a big reason why ERP projects end up being a mess, because process is not the defining factor. The data and the physical model or the logical model of the physical world is the defining framework. With an existing ERP, design your code schemes and hierarchies. Find a slot that you can drop the new code scheme into, implement in the data warehouse, ETL, business intelligence, and then progressively move into the ERP. You can get a lot of value out of your existing systems without replacing the existing systems and without replacing the data in the existing systems. You do it incrementally. That's a whole discussion. The Rennie's case study that I'll mention in a minute was done on that basis, likewise Food Corp. The outcome. It enables a set of reports and models that are constantly enhanced and not repaired. The results go beyond anything you could dream of. And it's only possible with my approach to precision configuration. A case study, Robert Prebach, CEO and part owner of African Sales Company, positioned ASCO as an industry leader in the management of information and therefore brand management in its category. Presentation at a conference, I maintain that doing a joint presentation and a joint paper at a conference with the client is the best testimonial you can get. So I'm bragging, quite frankly. As a consequence of what I did for them, they were able to secure the Dior account with an overnight 12% uplift in revenue because they could do things their competitors could not do. And that's what I created for them. Implementer, kudos, the implementer who was involved in that project, Sean Stutterford, basically says that to start with, he pushed back and then he began to understand the value, and subsequently they adopted my approach and had many more successful projects and customers who got what they expected. And just as a matter of interest, he brought me in on a number of occasions to develop chart of accounts cubic business model for a number of his clients. So some people like what I do, and I hope you'll take me up on it and you'll like what I do too. Very simple example on the left, credit note reason codes as I found them. On the right, what I developed with the CEO. On the left, you basically just about any question you can ask, you'll have to pull the data into Excel and manipulate it. On the right, a touch of a button, you can get the answer to any question that you've never thought to ask. And that applies to all your tables. Another testimonial, George Payton, CRM risk control. 10,000 loss incidents using 4 operators. It is estimated that about 12 people would have been required if they'd carried on with the way they were doing things previously, together with a massive increase in management information that they had available to them. Huge benefits, saving in cost and elevation of strategic value, strategic decision support. Cubic business model, it's a data integration model, it's a governance model, gives you tight financial control. It's a powerful profit enhancing governance driven by precision configuration. This is behind the example with V3 that I quoted at the beginning. So a little bit of a secret sauce with regard to the cubic business model. How can I achieve this really, really precise data? Well, I've got a secret. I've got a piece of software that I designed and had built called GL Builder, which understands the hierarchies. It understands the logic of the cube, and it helps me to build the cube step by step, maintaining the integrity of the data. So I've got extremely precise data. There's a screen out of the application down the left-hand side. You see all the steps in the process, and the blue-pink shading there are items that have been pulled across to the right. So I'm picking out just the pieces out of my master list that make up any piece, any particular part of the model. Testimonial, cubic business model, Rennie's Group, Kirsten Spear. Saving 3 weeks at year end, saving 2 weeks, saving 3 days per month. More tangible benefits, enthusiastic and proactive involvement, greatly improved reporting capabilities, improved ease and effectiveness of reporting, simple and flexible, empowering the user, adding value to the operations of the group, dramatic benefits, group of 200 companies, group consolidation, few clients, number of quite big organizations, done different levels of work for them, and I can do it for you. So in conclusion, I call this precision configuration because that's what it is. It raises the quality of the data in your ERP by at least an order of magnitude, if not 10. It greatly improves decision making, enhances profitability and competitiveness. It raises systems efficiencies, raises business and strategic efficiencies. It gears existing investment. It enhance and don't scrap. It makes your business more profitable, more competitive, leaner, more efficient. See the detailed presentation for a deep dive. As I've said, much more detailed analysis, explanation of the whole thing works together. If you are seriously interested in becoming a customer of mine, I will take you through it. And I believe that by the time you've got through that, you will have no question that I'm the person to do business with. Action. Bill Gates says that with regard to new information, if you don't act within 48 hours, you probably never will. So I'd like to ask you, what is your single most important insight from this presentation? What is the single most practical action that you can take tomorrow to apply ERP more effectively? Please write down your thoughts. I know this is a video, so I'm not going to stand and wait. Just pause. But I really encourage you to write down a few things if you haven't been taking notes as you've been watching this. A few questions. Well, again, it's a video, so you can't ask questions. My contact details at the bottom there, my email address, my LinkedIn profile, my phone number. You're welcome to email me, to message me on WhatsApp, to phone me. And if you're really interested, let's set up a Zoom call and explore how I can be of assistance to you. So there you have it, folks. You've got my contact details. I've given you a quick run through. This is very much at the headlines. It's a hugely valuable offering, and I'm excited to be able to offer it to you. I encourage you to send me an email or connect with me on phone or WhatsApp, and let's get together on Zoom, and I'll tell you a lot more about what I can do for you. I'm really looking forward to working with you. Thanks so much.